Hey, it's Alex here. Before we get started, I wanted to tell you that this episode of the New Stack Makers is part of our second season of the Tech Founder Odyssey. We're so excited about this series that we're doing with tech founders. We're going to hear from more founders as they share how they've launched their venture, what they've learned from their successes, and how the pitfalls along the way have helped shape the way they run their company. I'm very interested in how they came up with this idea. What were the challenges? Those are the kind of things you're going to hear in these stories. So I'm hosting the first episode, and then we'll be handing it off to the awesome Heather Jocelyn and awesome as well Colleen Call for the rest of season 2. We've got some great guests lined up, so please stay tuned. You're watching The New Stack Makers, a podcast for people who develop, deploy, and manage at-scale software. For more information and articles about at-scale technologies, please visit thenewstack.io. Now enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of the Tech Founder Odyssey, part of the New Stack Makers podcast series. I'm your host, Heather Jocelyn of the New Stack, and I'm joined today by my TNS colleague, Colleen Call.
Hello. I am so excited. This is going to be something different that we haven't done before. So let's get it on.
Great. And as Colleen mentioned, we are doing something different. We're talking to both halves of a co-founding team. Argonne Security was acquired by Aqua Security in late 2021, just a bit over a year after it started. The founders behind Argonne are Milner and Elhadad and Eylam Milner, and we're going to talk to both of them today about their individual and shared tech founder journeys. First, let me introduce Milner and Elhadad, who is now General Manager, Software Supply Chain Security at Aqua. Argonne was actually his second startup to be acquired. He started in 2017 with Paidit, which was purchased by YCD and Verifone. Before that, he spent 6 years working in Israeli military intelligence. Thanks for joining us. And we're also joined by Eylam Milner. Eylam is now Senior Director of Software Supply Chain Security at Aqua. He also co-founded a company before Argonne, Dotsme, and also spent several years serving in and then supporting the Israeli military before he entered the world of tech startups. Something that's come up, you're the third and fourth people we've interviewed for this series, tech founders who spent their early adulthood serving in the Israeli military. We know that Israel mandates military service. Other countries like the U.S. do not. What did you each learn from your experience in the military that you feel might have helped prepare you for the world of tech startups?
So it's a really great question. I believe from my side, it's first and almost always the same answer is the people. You are meeting a very good people in your journey in the Israeli Defense Forces. And it's always push you to move forward and also build around you a very unique community that help you a lot.
My 2 cents on that. So Eilon touched on the people and the network, which of course is one of the main things that you acquire from the service. There's also, of course, the technological kind of experience that you gain there, which is one of the obvious skill set that you can successfully acquire. I think, for me, one of the main kind of things that I got was the mindset, which is kind of to simplify, it's a can-do mindset. So no challenge is kind of too big. You know how failure is not an option. I know it's a cliche, but it really feels like from an early age, you get to start kind of to think in a certain way, which I believe helped me and Eilon and the rest of the Argonne team to get through the early days of starting a company, which can be rough.
You each had prior experience in helping to start a company. When you look back on those first startups, what did you learn about those experiences that you were able to apply to Argonne?
So I think every path in your way learn you a lot of things. For me specifically, at Paidit, I believe that it was the product market fit. So when we started Paidit, it was immediately after the military. To be honest, we did a lot of mistakes. And we learned from them a lot. But the first thing, and I think in Argonne, and I believe that we'll speak about it, we did very, very well because we felt it in our previous adventures, is the is the ability to understand which market to target, where is your expertise, where in this market there is a really needs or a gap, a real problem that you solve. So for me, it was this area of the product market fit. Yeah.
Well, it seems like there's two big brands here. You guys with leading these major startups. I mean, how did the universe connect you both? I mean, how did you meet to create Argonne? Because you were here, you were successful, and then all of a sudden, this happens, and then this, whatever this is even more great and fantastic. Because of course you were acquired by Aqua, of course, for a great reason. So how do you guys meet?
Not surprisingly, we shared kind of a similar track in the military service. So we both did our engineering kind of training in the engineering school of the IDF. It's called the Mamram. I think Eilon was one class before me, so he was my senior. And after that, we kind of, we had our shared circles of friends. And when Eilon and I both started working on the second chapter, on the second adventure, it was just kind of a perfect match in timeline-wise. We both just started working and we got connected and we just sat down and we hit it off from there and it just took off.
So you mentioned the second invention. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I assume that's Argonne, correct? Or yeah.
Yes.
So how did Argonne start as a company, and first as the product and when did you decide to be a company?
We came very prepared to this specific chapter, to the start. Yeah, you always need to keep learning. But basically, the idea that we understood that we want to leverage our knowledge from the military and our expertise. So we knew that it will be around the areas of technology, DevOps, security. Me and Eylam kind of did the same. I think that we share the same responsibility in the military, but in different units. Me in the intelligence unit, Eylam in the Air Force, and when we started, we knew that it will be around kind of source code and DevOps and security. And I think from there, Eylam, you can maybe share
I think it was obvious that we're going to touch on one of the fields that we feel we have added value on. And I think it was on our first conversation that Eilon brought up the issue of source code leak. So companies' proprietary code finding its way out of the company by accident or by malicious activity. Mm-hmm. And it kind of blew my mind. I remember that when I discovered this was a thing and companies have no way of securing themselves to protect against it, this was kind of the foundation which we built Argonne on. And from there it grew to be kind of an entire topic, which today is known as the software supply chain security.
Mm-hmm. We saw it. I think we understood very early that it's a pain, but it's small pain. And what we did, we basically took deep dive into this topic. We start to look about attack surfaces, trends in the market. We started speaking with different potential customers, and we very quickly, we found ourselves understanding that there is a kind of the time in the market that it's called CI/CD, that is basically software supply chain. It's a huge thing. Every company used it, but no one protected. And in the end, what is the messaging of security? Every new business challenge leads to new technological solution. The business challenge was to deliver a product faster to the business. The solution was to build software supply chain, and then it's lead to new security attack surface.
And it seems like that was the timing was really quite good, because the whole industry is now very, very concerned about software supply chain security. And how did you? So you're forming this company. How did you decide who would be the CEO and who would be the CTO? And what do you feel each brings to your team?
Yeah, I think it was obvious for us. Eilon, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like from day one.
Yeah, we
actually never talked about it, which I think it's a good indication that we had like a match on like the abilities that we feel we bring to the team. And I think that was one of the things that I knew was going to be a strong partnership because we complete each other's kind of strengths and weaknesses. So it was a good match. CEO, CTO was kind of granted. We ran with it. We didn't really define it anywhere along the road. And I think up until today, like we have this balance that keeps us strong.
And with that in mind, I mean, it seems like your relationship, like you said, is a really good match. As a two-person founding team, and the positives that you both bring forth to the company, how do you handle conflict? With that being, I mean, everything's going wonderful, but then you handle conflict as a two-person founding team. How does that happen? How does that work out?
We just don't have conflict, right?
I think
who talks first, for example?
Yeah, no, I think it's accurate. Like basically, we really, we have a strong trust. So of course we advise, like we speak with each other all the time. I think that's the person that I spoke with him in the last 2 years, like the most, and every day. And we always consult with each other, but everyone knows like and give the space to the other in the place that he is responsible for, and it's really worked for us naturally. So we have a lot of lucky.
We talked about this a little bit, during. So you started basically during the pandemic too. I mean, were there any advantages or disadvantages to starting at that time when things were so, in upheaval around the world?
To be completely honest, always like there is I remember that people told us not to do it in the pandemic. But I think like always there is disadvantage and advantage of the time that you are doing it. If an entrepreneur believe in a specific idea and he has a strong team, he need to go for it all in, no matter what. He will find a solution to fix the other problems because it will show up every day. So
I'm curious. You were able to get acquired pretty quickly. I mean, a little over a year. Sounds like. What can you tell us about how that came about? Did you reach out to Aqua? Did they reach out to you?
I don't think like first of all we didn't plan at all. Basically, and someone asked us last year. We already told to our employees, our team, that we closed round A. So that was the plan. That's what we did. It's almost $30 million. So we were in the position, like we was in position that we are really wanted to create a huge company. But then the market shifted. We got, I think, a lot of different offers during the way. But when Aqua approached to us, it was kind of unique from a few different positions, but the one that we are truly believe is consolidation. That's what we have seen in the market. We are, after a year, we can tell you that the market is going to a place that they want a consolidated solution that will be able to help the customers. And I don't know, Eylam, maybe you can add on top of me, but that was a little bit from the perspective there.
Yeah, I think this was what you mentioned was the key kind of aspect of the decision. It wasn't an easy decision because, as Eilon mentioned, that we didn't plan it in any way. We just closed around A. We were growing very strong, and the timing in the market was amazing. So it was a really something to contemplate about. But I think kind of the agenda that we believed in was that the market is going, the cybersecurity market, and specifically kind of the cloud native security market, which we operate in, we believed that it was going in a certain direction, and we took a leap of faith on that direction. And I think now it kind of plays out. We see a lot of other companies making acquisitions of other kind of startups doing other positioning in this field. And we see kind of everybody in the chase of creating kind of the unified experience for their customers. And this is something that we do successfully today inside of Aqua. So I think like I feel kind of very positive about the